GG, Gallaro Gaming. Builds, guides, walkthroughs, and gameplay. Welcome to Gallaro Gaming. Today, I'm going to be going over some of my top advice for new players coming into Lost Ark. With its NA and EU release coming up here in just a couple of days, I figured I'd let you guys know what you'd be looking forward to and what all would be the best route to get to wherever you want to go. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is your leveling in the game. Killing monsters isn't worth any XP. It's worth 2 per kill. Some of the bosses and stuff might give you a little bit more, but it's really never worth it to just grind out XP. So when you're doing your quests, just run past whatever you don't have to kill. Don't waste your time killing everything that chases you. You'll waste a lot of time doing that if you do that. Now, your primary source of experience is going to come from your main quest line. They'll be pretty quick, larger amounts of experience. When you're doing that, pick up any of the ones that you see with the chain icon. Those will give you specialty drops such as cards and stat potions and skill potions and things to that extent. Also, purple quests unlock new things that you can do or have special storylines and extra bonuses on them as well. Now, when you're wandering around doing your main quest line, you'll run into red quests that pop up when you enter a certain area. Do these, they're usually very, very quick. Kill X amount of monsters, bam, decent chunk of XP, carry on. No worries there. Also, when it comes to doing the dungeons that show up in your storyline, don't worry about hitting the group queue. Just run them solo. Nice, quick. If you want to do it with people, go ahead. But you'll spend as much time sitting in the group queue as you would having ran the dungeon solo. Just a heads up on that one, because there's really no need to find people to do something that's very quick and easy. Okay, so my next bit of advice for you is get a map. There are tons of resources for this game online already, since it's already been out in Russia, Korea, and Japan for quite a while. Use them. There's builds out there. There's maps that give you everything that you're looking for. There's guides on how to get through certain things, dungeons, all of that. I personally will be making guides on how to get through the mechanics of some of the dungeons once you hit tier 1 to tier 3. I've completed all the ones for tier 1 and tier 2 already. I'll be working on the guides for those shortly. Hopefully I'll have some of them out before the game even launches. But with all the resources available to you, use them. There's maps that you can find that will show you every continent, every area, and all the hidden treasures and collectibles, dungeon locations, sub bosses for the zones. Everything you can think of are there. Use it. Go find 1 or 2 maps that you like. Pull them up. Keep them up as frequently as possible. Find an extra screen if you need to, and just throw it on there. I've got a map on my screen just above my main screen that I use all the time for when I go to a new zone, pick up all the seeds and hit all the dungeons that are in that area. Makes completing your world setup there to get your rewards for completing a zone so much quicker and easier, because you just grab the stuff on your way. So find a map. They're there. Now, in terms of leveling, if you want to level quickly, once you finish lootering and you get your boat, for the fastest leveling, I would recommend heading all the way up north to Arthentine, and then go down to Anaric, and then if for some reason you aren't 50 by the time you're done there, I finished 50 before I even finished the storyline in Anaric. You can head down to Tort after that. But when you get to your first destination up in Arthentine, do all the quests. As many of the side quests as you can find, all the chain quests, everything. It'll get you almost to 50. I got to like 48 and a half when I was up there right out of Luteran. Made it quick and easy. Now, if you want to complete everything later on, you'll have to come back to all these places and do the side quests and the collectibles and all that stuff to really get yourself completed. But if you want to get to the tiers and push as fast as possible, start from the north and work south. It's reverse order, so the ones at the top are actually giving you more XP. You're getting XP as if you had gone from the bottom up instead of doing it this way. They don't base the XP on your level. They base the XP on the level that the quest is meant for. Now, yes, it's going to be a little bit harder fighting at the beginning, and most of the gear that you're going to get as drops you won't be able to use until you level up to its zone. But you can still complete all of the quests, even under-leveled and under-geared. You can still complete the dungeons solo, under-leveled and under-geared. Really wasn't that hard, wasn't that bad. Took me a minute to figure out what was going on once I started doing it that way, but super quick. Now, to go along with that speed leveling method, if you're doing that, then you're going to want to know how to push your tiers as fast as possible as well. So, when you hit 50, head straight over to Burn. Do the storyline there. That'll unlock all your Chaos dungeons, your Guardian raids, and you can really start at your tier 1. But if you want to quickly push your tiers, save your Chaos dungeons, or at least one of them. You should be able to go through, complete your Burn storyline, and then head to Shoeshire. Once you get there, you'll get a complete set of tier 1 from completing the storyline up there in Shoeshire. You'll be able to use your star tokens that you get from doing the Guardian raids to buy upgrade materials from the star token vendor. And you should be able to push all the way through to tier 2 on that first set, just using the tokens that you get from doing 1 Chaos dungeon, 2 Guardian raids, and that might be able to give you enough to get all the way to tier 2. If not, push your second one. You'll be able to push through all of tier 1 in one day, and then go to tier 2 the next day, because once you finish doing your second Chaos dungeon, you can continue running them to get more loot drops that will give you tokens to buy more upgrade materials. Makes it pretty easy to push through tier 1 in a day. Tier 2 takes a little bit longer. It'll take you a few days of running stuff. But, I mean, you can get to tier 3 within probably a week of pushing to 50. Now, we've got a couple vendors to talk about because these are important. I don't know why. I never heard anything about them on anybody else's tips and tricks or any other video on how to get progression fast or anything like that. You've got the Chaos Raid vendor and you've got the Star vendor. The Chaos Raid vendor, after you complete your first 2 runs, every time you run through, it'll start dropping mats for you. So those mats gives you 2. One's blue, one's purple. You can use those mats then to go to the Chaos vendor, and that you can buy upgrade materials, skill books, upgrading protections and increases, things like that. Now the skill books are very important because you want to get those engravings for your character. You can only buy a certain amount of these items a week, but if you're pushing through and run your Chaos after, get all the stuff, you can buy your entire tier 1 and tier 2 engraving books really fast, no problem. Get an entire setup in a day for your tier 1 and tier 2 just by running those dungeons after the fact. Doesn't take too long. You need 20 books a piece. That'll take up all of your weekly stuff, but you just push through real quick and get all of it, and then you can keep doing that every week with whatever engravings you want for tier 1 and tier 2 and target farm that. You can also get those engravings doing the towers, but you'll only get so many out of there. You won't get the full skill set. So you can do the full skill set from the Chaos Raid vendor. Now the Star vendor, your Chaos Raids and your Guardian Raids will have star tokens that they drop. This vendor gives you a wide selection of things to buy that are very useful, be it all of your upgrade materials that you can buy there. You can buy quite a few other valuable items from here to fill in the gaps of what you have. You can also buy card decks, Phenon coins, which are used in the auction house. Quite a few important things that you can find here, and I don't know why I didn't see it in anybody else's vids that I watched. And I mean, I've done a lot of research on the game while playing the game to find out everything I needed to know so I could bring more information out to you guys. But yeah, check these 2 vendors out when you're going up and through. It could help you out quite a bit in terms of getting geared up properly, quickly, and focused. Because if you're only looking for a specific engraving to start with, like for my sorcerer, I wanted reflux. In order to get reflux, you had to do raids so many times, and it's not targeted. The tower will give you targeted, but only so many. So if you do this, you can get the exact engravings that you're looking for because it'll give you a chest that drops, and you can then select what ones you want. So it is direct target farming. It makes it quick and easy and guaranteed to get what you want. Now, if you're watching this, I'm sure you've probably watched a lot of other Lost Ark vids by now. And so you know collectibles are very important. From things like the card system, giving you passive bonuses on characters on that server, Moko seeds that once you unlock, you can use to get collectibles from Tort Island. These are all server wide, so getting them on one gets them for all. As you collect them, you can get some rather important things like your skill potions, which really help you flesh out your build, stat increases, things like that. Things that are rather important. Now, you don't have to collect them all as you're going, but if you run through some of them, why not pick them up? Also, going back later on to pick them all up, great, easy enough. Use the maps we talked about earlier and find where they're all out. Take a day and go through it all. Now, in terms of class, I've seen a lot of tier lists on here. Don't pay too much attention to those. Personally, I've got a long history of playing tanks, assassin, mages, and archers. Oh, that's most of them. But the last few years, I've been favoring mages. So I jumped over onto the Russian server, tested out the Sork, and so far I'm absolutely loving it. But one thing to take away from the class system is that it's very, very balanced. It's kind of like how Final Fantasy XIV is, which I've played for quite a while myself. You can clear any content in the game with any character. Yeah, the tier lists you see popping up aren't really going to hold too long, to the exception of the two supports being there. Some classes are better than others in progression content. Some are better for when you get the raids on farm. Yeah, they can have theoretically higher numbers, but there's mechanics in the dungeons. There's mechanics in the raids. You're not going to be able to just sit there and hit it like it's a target dummy. You're going to have to move. You're going to miss big hits on certain bosses. It's just going to happen. They've done a very good job in this game of balancing out the classes, so there's really not an S tier and C tier difference that's massive. There's only going to be public opinion of certain classes, which they might say, I don't want to take you because of this opinion of this class. But I mean, honestly, you get with a halfway decent guild and run with them with the characters that you like. Pick a character that you're going to enjoy the play style of. In these type of balanced games, you will always play better and do more on a character that you enjoy playing and that you're good at than a character that is meta and supposed to be the top tier, and you don't play it as good as you do the one that you really enjoy. So if you're playing great on your archer, but you're not playing so great on your mage, but the mage is meta, well, you're going to do more damage on that archer. Even if it is 5% lower at the top tier in terms of total damage output, you're not going to be able to squeeze that 5% more out over a character that you play smoothly and comfortably. So really just play what you enjoy. Play what looks good to you. Play what feels right to you. At the end of the day, this is a game. You play it for fun. Why not just enjoy it when you're playing it? If you see another character that you like, go ahead and roll a new one if you decide you want to try something different. This game, you can move the materials between one character to another, so if you're really high ranked on one character and you want to get another character up to it, you can use that character's rank to farm out stuff for that character. You can't transfer gear, but all the materials used to upgrade your stuff, and the gear is really easy to get at the lower tiers. Now, when you push to tier 3, yeah, you're probably going to have a harder time pushing a new character up all the way through tier 3, but we aren't getting in-game tier 3 right off the rip. We're getting the start of tier 3. So pushing a character to there shouldn't be all that hard. Alts. You hear a lot about having to have a whole bunch of them. Some people will say you don't need any of them. Best advice that I've personally heard in regards to it is make an alt when you want to. If you want to try a new class, if you got extra time to burn after you finished all your daily stuff on your main, if you want to do something with them, go ahead and make them. It's a game. Enjoy how you play it. Don't play to the point that it makes it into a job, play to have fun. Otherwise, you're just going to burn out and not enjoy it. Yes, having a whole bunch of alts can increase the amount of gold that you make and increase your material gain and a whole lot of other things. But you can still get to the end game and enjoy the end game without having a whole bunch of them. Yes, if you don't want to play the end game, this game has horizontal play where there's a whole bunch of things you can do without really having to push anywhere. You don't have to have alts to enjoy the game. It will just help you push forward faster if you do have them, but you don't need them. So make them when you want them, not when everybody else tells you have to have them. Now, for daily runs, luckily, this is a game you don't have to play every day. I would highly recommend it, but there is a rest system in it where if you miss a day, or up to 5 in this case, you'll gain rest, which doubles the drops for the runs you missed out on until you run out of rest. Now, it only doubles the end rewards, so on things like your chaos runs, I recommend doing those every day if you can. If not, oh well, but there's a lot of mats that come out of those, and if you miss a day, that could push you back yet another day on progressing, whereas missing a guardian raid where you go and kill the boss, you'll just get 2 souls at the end instead of 1. So you get double your loot on that, which is nice. But for your chaos, you only get double the end rewards, which I mean is nice because the star tokens are there, but those runs drop a lot of materials. So that's really helpful there. Now, if you get to the end game and there's certain things that you want to do every day, but you don't have enough time and you want to alternate, knock out your chaos runs real quick and then pick whatever other sets you want to do, like guardian raids and your actual dungeon raids. Your dungeons are 3 runs a week per run, which is really nice. So you can do that. Your Eponia dailies, those you can gain rest on too. So go ahead and let your rest stack up if you need to and you don't have enough time to play every day. That's just helpful. Now, the only one that it really isn't super helpful with is the chaos runs. So try to get those out. If not, oh well, it's just a game. Enjoy it. The very last and most important tip that I have for you is have fun. It's a game. Enjoy playing it. It's there for your entertainment. It's not anything that you have to do to make money at, to be the best in. Play it how you want to play it. This is a game that the CEO is taking a loss on profit for to make sure that the launch and the content that we have in the NA and EU is good and enjoyable. They're making it so that the cash shop doesn't have certain things that they make a lot of money on and putting out other things that don't affect the gameplay. They talked about how last year they introduced 4 new raids over the course of the year, and they thought that was too much because the community had to push so hard constantly for it, and that not enough people who don't push weren't getting enjoyment out of it because there wasn't things for them to do. So they're doing 2 raids this year in Korea and a whole bunch of other horizontal progression patches to give the casual players more fun. They're spacing out the pushing more so that more of your free-to-play players and your casual players can get there to enjoy that. Instead of making it a sprint, they're making it more of just a run. It's going to be a lot more geared towards everybody and less geared towards your top 1% of players. So enjoy the game. Have fun with it. Find people. Find a guild that you like. Find a Discord that you like. Talk to people and have fun. It's an MMO, massively multiplayer online. So go find some people online and enjoy the massive community that this game is scheduled to have. This is going to be one of the biggest launches that we've seen for a very long time on an MMO. So yeah, enjoy it. This game has a huge following with an increasing population every year. This year, it went like 600% up for new players and returning players on the foreign servers. So the game has gotten better. They've made upgrades to the game to make it more playable. Enjoy it. Take it for everything that it's worth and have fun. That's the most important part about playing a game like this, is just have fun. Well, if you liked what you saw here, if you enjoyed my content, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be posting guides for the upcoming dungeons that you're going to be encountering at the beginning of the game, all the way up through to tier 3. I'll try to get them all out. I'll get a couple of them out beforehand so that they're there for launch. Hopefully I'll have at least the first 2 to 4 of them done up, because I mean, it's not that hard to explain mechanics on raids that only have 2 bosses. And I mean, I know that the first 4 dungeons have very, very simple mechanics. So usually it's 1 mechanic per boss. I'll have those up as quick as possible for you. Thank you. Have a good day.